I welcome everybody to Remake TV once again. Today, this video is going to be about all the money the United States government has shelled out in the name of various stimuli to help people with the outbreak that's wreaking havoc in our daily lives. So before I jump into today's video, I just want you to know I have my handy notebook here where I took all the notes. This isn't a formal news YouTube channel. I don't have a teleprompter, and there is no way that I'm going to memorize all this information just for a video. So as you may already know, approximately 20% of the US population is out of the workforce now, which equates to about 26.5 to 27 million Americans. That's a huge chunk of the workforce. On March 6th, the federal government signed the first stimulus, which was for about $8.3 billion, and it was to go towards the treatment of this disease and towards finding of a vaccine for this. Shortly, not after the first one, on March 18, 2020, a second stimulus was signed, which was for $100 billion. The money from this stimulus was supposed to go towards food assistance and paid sick leave, and in addition to some treatment of this disease. Shortly after that, in the month of April, a third stimulus was signed for $2.3 trillion. And I'm going to read out what the allocation of that money was and how it was allocated, for the lack of better structure of the sentence. $365 billion went towards supporting small businesses. Mom and pop businesses suffered so much, but there's a something went on in regards to that money. The businesses that were deserving of that money didn't actually get it. Most of the people who got the money were actually big retailers and big chains like the Ruth Chris's Steakhouse, which already has $80 million in cash reserves, but it still laid off workers. 130 of that money, $130 billion was supposed to go to the hospitals. $500 billion was supposed to go to the corporations, large corporations. $25 billion was supposed to go towards the airlines and to bail them out. And $150 was supposed to go to the local and state governments to help them with their budgeting. And the remainder of that money, of the $2 trillion that was allocated for this purpose, was supposed to go towards those $1,200 stimulus checks. Now, here's the thing. This stimulus was mostly hyped up because of $1,200 that was supposed to go to each and every American. Now, there were some stipulations, some criteria that was to be followed. I'm not going to go in depth about that. I will share some links in the description below. But here's one thing I would like to share. $1,200 was to go towards each individual. If you have a family and you have children, $500 addition to that $1,200 would go towards the family because of each child. Please remember, this payment is based off of the 2019 tax returns, and if you haven't filed your 2019, then it would be based off of 2018. So please make sure that you file your tax return so that the IRS has your bank direct deposit information on hand, and they also have your up-to-date latest mailing address on hand as well. Now, shortly after this third stimulus, another one came about. It wasn't the fourth one, it was called 3.5, or the phase 3.5. Why? As you may remember, in the last stimulus, or the last phase, the $367 billion with a B billion dollars that was allocated for small businesses, especially for mom and pop businesses who were going out of business, who had to furlough workers or even let the workers go completely. that money dried up super quick. So let's look at some details of this phase 3.5. The total was for $484 billion, out of which $310 billion was supposed to go towards Paycheck Protection Program, $60 billion was supposed to go towards financial catastrophe loans, $75 billion was supposed to go towards the hospitals, and $25 billion was supposed to go towards testing. We're done.